Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I'm Dwyer, and I just finished myself binding a slice of life progression fantasy, Millennial Mage Book 3. Like, remember on the channel, I have gone ahead and reviewed books 1 and 2. Really enjoyed them. Wanted a break from the lit RPG cultivation kick that I was on, and this one fit the bill quite nicely. It's just your good old-fashioned fantasy novel. That avoids a lot of the problems where, the character, superpower really quickly, or you have like cackling villains and like all of that nonsensical garbage that you might read occasionally, but you might want something a bit more interesting from time to time. And this actually fills the bill quite nicely. This series so far, I'm happy to report. Book 1 and Book 2, I really enjoyed. Book 3 is okay. And Book 4 is going to be released this month. With that of the current recording of this book, is going to be released this month. I have a hunch that, because this one released in May, the 3 is, 4 is released in June. I have a hunch they were kind of written together, and then they decided, is this probably getting a little bit long? I'm assuming here that it's getting a little bit long. There is like a hard cutoff here for whatever they're doing next. So this is very much written as a transition to Book 4. For example, there's not a whole lot of new things that go on here from Book 2. In Book 2, our good old main character Tala, you knew what they were going to do, right? They were going to become an Archon, like a really stronger, a little bit more stronger mage type person, which we find out is like the lowest tier of true magic, because you kind of got like some basic mages, some basic magery going on, but they're not really true mages until they really manage to take control of their power and themselves, and the level that they're at in this one is like the lowest of that. So they're finally actually understanding what true magic is in this particular world, and getting a hint of the big baddies that are out there in the rest of the world that would either eat them for breakfast or use them to essentially power other things. They turn into like the Matrix. They become batteries to these other awful creatures. So we're really getting a little sneak peek into the world at large as we've been progressing. And here we're getting another like peek behind the curtain of what they're going to be facing in the future. That said, a lot of the book isn't anything more than what you already anticipated was going to happen while she's, transitioning to be that kind of stronger person. It's not until like the final 25, 28, somewhere around there, % of the book that we have any kind of twists at all. And we find one of the big baddies that I mentioned notices her on one of her jobs. And we're getting a hint of, well, what's going on there? And other people notice that interaction, and they're going, what's going on there? So I think Book 4 is going to be very interesting. And Book 3 is very much kind of like more of an intermission, skip over to the next book. I think maybe if you really wanted to, you could skip this one. It's not bad. It's not badly written. It's just, if you need more action, you're probably going to get that in the next book than in this one. Because this is, again, very much this is where she was. She told you what she was going to be doing before she resumes her journeys. And then this is that in between, right? It was interesting to read. It's not a must read, however. Because, again, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the author had originally anticipated this being one book, what is now 3 and 4, and they realized that there was like an easy cut in the middle, and they probably just separated them. I'm thinking is what happened here. Either way, I mean, I thought it was okay. It's not a very large book. It's 442 pages on the good old Kindle edition. Doesn't take forever to read. Just finishes wrapping up what happened in Book 2. Sets the stage for what's going to happen in Book 4. So, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I would say it's probably 3.5 to 4 out of 5 stars. Because again, you can't deny it's a bit boring. It is definitely going to be a bit boring for a lot of readers. That is absolutely 100% true. A lot of training, a lot of getting to where you know that the author is taking the main character, so it can be in the next step of the journey, which is interesting in its own right. It's just not very exciting. It's just kind of there. So you can read it. You can wait for book 4, which is again coming out this month anyway, and you can probably just read that one instead. If you're enjoying the series, though, I would hang on. I don't think this author is going to make the mistake that a lot of them make and just suddenly destroy their own series. I am hopeful. I am hopeful. I like the world they're creating. I like how it's interacting. I like the players that we've kind of seen behind the curtain and how they're going to be taking the world in whatever direction that the author has in mind. So yeah, I'm excited for book 4 still. I'm excited for book 4 still. You know, this 3 a bit boring. Still looking for 4. And yeah, recommend. Won't be the most amazing read in the history of ever. But if you like book 1, you like book 2, you might as well because 4's coming out soon anyway. Decent job binding. Just hope it picks up a bit in 4.